So when I was 3 years old, my mom put me in my first ballet class, and I loved it, but I naturally wasn't very good at it. Back then they put the talented kids in the front row and those who weren't so talented in the back row. And the back row seemed to just be my home. It's where every teacher put me up till the age of probably 13 or 14. I wasn't physically apt to do ballet very well, and I always had to push my body to do things that it didn't want to do, and as a result, I was always injured. I had stress fractures in my feet, and I had this one stress fracture in my back that was really bad. And of course, I pushed through it because I didn't want to stop. And so I had to wear this really long back brace. It was this back brace that went from my neck down to my tailbone. And so needless to say, I wasn't very popular in high school. When I bent over, it would stick up like a turtle shell. And so I was really just a place for them to play knock-knock jokes. But people kept saying, you know, gosh, you're not very good at it. And I like to show any naysayer that I actually can overcome. And that's just my attitude. I'm a fighter for the underdog because I was one in this sport. Despite that, I had a fairly successful career just because I continued to push myself. I went to boarding school for ballet in high school. I got my undergraduate degree from the University of Utah, and I danced with professional companies throughout the country. I danced in over 400 nutcrackers, and I probably had 1 or 2 stress fractures in at least one or usually both feet. I was told that I was fat countless times, despite restricting calories and really watching what I ate, but I could never achieve my goals. I was chosen at one point near the end of my dancing career to perform in New York City. You know, that's every dancer's dream. And I imagined myself being in the spotlight in these once-in-a-lifetime experiences. However, I found myself in the ER, in the hospital, all by myself. I had no idea what was going on, and after a whole bunch of tests, the neurologist said that I was simply underfed and over-exercised, and that I had to stop. I could not continue with this career. That was a huge deal for me. I mean, it was my identity. It's all that I did since the age of 3 years old. I was flown home. I missed the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to perform in New York City. I was so fearful of my health future because I still didn't know what was going on with my body. And I kind of had a crisis. I didn't know what to do with myself, but I understood how significantly nutrition impacted my own sport performance. So I decided to go into the field of nutrition. I considered medical school, but I really don't deal well with people in traumatic situations, really sick people. I feel too much in my heart for them, and so I'm more on the preventive side. So it was great for me that I went into the field of nutrition, and I went on and I earned my Ph.D. in sports nutrition and chronic disease, and I studied exactly what I struggled with during my dancing career. I studied what happens to our metabolism when we chronically diet and undereat. What do we need to do to drop this body fat and keep the weight off for good? And then most importantly, I studied behaviorally. How do we make change mentally, emotionally from our habits and behaviors to create sustainable change? From that point, I went on and I taught at The Ohio State University, and I really loved what I did there, but I found that I'm a really impatient person and I need to see people change dramatically and quickly. So I went back to school again there at OSU to become a registered dietitian. But there was a problem. I learned all the same stuff that I did that didn't work for me. I learned that you need to eat less and you need to move more, that you need to eat low-fat food and eat 6 to 11 servings of grain, that you should avoid red meat because it has heart disease. And here I was basically a vegetarian. I was pre-diabetic and had high blood pressure as an athlete, so I knew something was wrong. So I took everything that I learned from my Ph.D. and flipped everything that I learned from my dietetic internship upside down and did the opposite and put it together and created the Ph.D. approach. We implemented it into our own lives with my husband, who has struggled with obesity and has genetics supporting morbid obesity, and he was able to drop 35 pounds and feel his best ever. I was able to let go of the chronic exercise and eat more and feel so much better and heal all of my injuries and heal my metabolism that was totally broken from my dancing career and my years of chronic undereating and dieting. From that point, I went on and started to work with a lot of athletes. You know, my PhD is in sports nutrition and chronic disease specifically, and helping athletes optimize their performance, optimize their body composition, and let go of excess fat that was holding them back. I loved doing that. But what I found had a profound impact on these athletes had an even more significant impact on those of us struggling with excess body fat. And that's really how Ph.D. was created. I opened our first brick and mortar location in Durango, Colorado, and served so many people and helped them get back to the active lifestyle that's so important out there. At that point, we opened another location in New Mexico, and my husband and I had to make the hardest decision of our lives. We had just built our dream house in Durango thinking we would be there forever, and we decided that we had to leave because I had the moral obligation to serve people in the unique way that we do, and I didn't feel that I could do it from there. So we took our 2 boys and moved to Asheville, North Carolina while I was 36 weeks pregnant, and I signed a lease to open our Asheville location. And I did that about 2 months after our baby girl was born. And from there, we opened our Greenville, South Carolina location. We went to Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm opening another location there, and then our nationwide over-the-phone program where we can serve people all over the world has just exploded, and we now have clients in every state in the country and are helping them transform their life. People ask me if I miss dancing, because it was my love and my passion, and I was obsessed with it. And I do really miss it, but oh my gosh, everything that it taught me and the direction that it pushed me to be able to help others and serve people in this major, massive, dramatic way is everything to me. It puts passion in my heart and purpose in my step. And I am so grateful for the path that dancing pushed me toward and my ability to be able to serve others in such a significant way.